Hey everyone, it's Chica, and today I'm going to do a walkthrough of the Dremel 4000 rotary tool. Dremel is the gold standard when it comes to rotary tools, and I've got a Dremel 4000 sent to me by my friends at Lowe's, and we're going to walk through it in great detail, and I'm going to show you the accessories that come with it, the bits, how to operate it, how to use it, and everything you need to know. All right, here is the package that it came in. You can see it is the Dremel 4000. This comes with different accessory sets. I got the 34, which is a pretty good basic. It's not the starter, but right in the middle. Here on the back, there's a diagram of everything that's included, and we're going to go through all of these, but I just wanted to show you this nice handy diagram. I think I might actually cut this out and save it and store it with my tool because I really like this. Inside the box, we have this really awesome carrying case here. It says Dremel on it. And when you open it up, oh, look at all the goodies inside. All right, so we're going to go through all of these, and I'm going to explain what everything is. Here is the tool, of course, and it is a plug-in version. The battery operated is handy if you need to work in tight spaces or remote locations, but I need unlimited power, so I get the corded version. Of course, we have the accessories here in this little container, but there's also these other really cool tools here, and we're going to walk through all of those one at a time. Okay, let's start with the tool itself. It's got a pretty hefty weight to it. It's a nice, powerful tool. I chose the 4000 because of the extra power that it offers. And actually, if you look here at the package, there's an indicator here of how versatile this tool is. It has a very high versatility. This is not your basic low-powered rotary tool. This is a good, strong one that can actually do a lot. So it has super high versatility for lots of different uses. On the tool itself, let's go through a couple of features. This is the on-off switch. You just slide it to on, slide it back to off. Super easy to do. Here is a speed adjustment that you can adjust the speed of the rotary tool here at the end, which is great if you're working with different materials. Sometimes you want slower or faster speed, so that's where you can adjust that very easily. There's a little hanger hook here if you want to hang it. It is corded, of course, so you can plug it in to use it. Now this end here is obviously where you put the bit in, and this is the collet nut on there. This right here, this is the best thing in this entire rotary kit. This is called the Easy Twist Integrated Nose Cap. Now normally, if you want to loosen your collet nut, you need the little wrench, and you have to go find the wrench first of all, and then you can do this to loosen or tighten your nut to put your bit in. But with this, you just unscrew this right here, and let me show you inside. Look at that. There is actually a wrench built into this. So you don't have to take it all the way off. You can go halfway, engage that wrench, and you can turn your collet nut by turning this nose cap. Once you've got it as tight as you want it, put the nose cap back on, tighten it again, and you're good to go. This never gets lost. You don't have to go find this little thing here. It's built into the cap. Isn't that amazing? I love it. Okay, so let's go ahead and break this down here and see what we have inside. Take that collet nut right off. Slide my nose cap off. Now, this is the collet nut that holds in the collet. And that's this little guy right here. So these come in different sizes. This is the only one included with this kit. This is a standard 1/8 inch collet. And you know that it is that size because here on the end, there are no rings. This is the manual that comes with this, and it has a really great diagram here to show you the different collet sizes. So you see how these have different numbers of rings here back on the end? That shows you the size. So it's a really great little chart. Now, why do you need different collets? Well, all of the accessories that you put in there have this shank size here. This 1/8 inch shank size fits the collet that comes with it. If you might get accessories made by a different brand or even by Dremel, but different sizes, you might need a different collet to be able to use it. So we're going to put this collet right back into here. And I'm going to put the collet nut right over top again. I'm not going to tighten it though. I can show you how I can stick this bit in. It goes right here into that collet. Tighten the nut. Wait a second. I've got to put my nose cap back on first, or else I will not be able to get it down over my bit. All right, so we'll put that right down there, and it goes down into the collet. Whenever you are tightening this, you have to hold this button down to lock it in place. So hold this down, and then I can turn, and then it will tighten. Okay, we'll put this back down, tighten it at the bottom, and now we have our bit in there, ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and plug this in so we can show you how it works when we turn it on and off. There you go. So easy, right? Now, while we've got this in here and we're playing with the power, let's go ahead and look at this adjustment here. and go all the way down to 5. The manual has this really great little handy chart here that tells you what the settings, the switch settings correspond to the speed. So when you're adjusting right here, you go, 5, 10, 15, it tells you what that corresponds to in case you forget. And then also there's a whole section here that talks about different materials and uses and when you might need higher speeds or lower speeds. So save that manual, there's some really good stuff in there. So let's turn this on and try some different speeds just so we can see. So that was a pretty big difference from all the way down low to up high. So this has great versatility. That's why I really like this particular model. By the way, please make sure you're wearing safety goggles whenever you're using something like this or any power tool. And if the noise is too much, wear some ear protection as well. Trust me, better safe than sorry. So when you're holding this tool, it is a little bit on the heavy side. So usually they recommend you hold it kind of in like a pencil grip like this if you're doing fine detail work, or if you're doing really hard aggressive stuff, you can do the golf grip. Imagine like you're holding a golf club, and this is a good way to grip it if you really need to get very aggressive grinding or sanding or anything. So those are the 2 ways that you can hold it. But I've got an extra accessory in that box over there that I'll show you here in a little bit that makes it even better for detail work. All right, let's start digging into this great little pack of bits that comes with this. The one that I've already got in there is this grinding stone here. I'll pop that out again just so we can look at it more closely. Pop it right out. Tighten that back up. So easy. Wasn't that so much easier than finding that little wrench? I love this nose cap. All right, so this is the grinding stone. They come in 2 different varieties. These red-brown ones here, these are aluminum oxide. These are great for sharpening blades, screwdriver tips, knives, scissors, anything like that, sharpening metal. That's what these are really great for. You can get these grinding stones in just about any size and shape. There's a huge variety. It's a very versatile stone. So these 2 come with the kit, but you can get more if you need. These blue-green ones that come in here, these are silicon carbide, and these are even tougher. These are made especially for really hard materials like glass and ceramic. So you might use this to remove excess glaze on ceramic or engraving, that type of stuff. So these are a little bit harder. These are some wire brushes. This is just for, grinding down rust, polishing, that kind of stuff. These come on their own shaft, so they're right here ready to go, just like those grinding stones did. When you're doing these, it is definitely recommended that you do not put your speed too high. Keep your speed a little bit lower on these depending on your use. But again, consult the manual to be sure you're doing it right. And remember, we have this nice chart on the box that you can use to check. So you can see these 2 here are the 403 and the 428. So if you have one of these and you really like it and you want another one and you save this chart, you can go back and look and find the exact one that you need to order again. So super handy. So also in this kit, we have, of course, our little wrench that I talked about before. And then we have these. These are engraving cutters that come with it. You get 2 of them in here, number 107 and 191. And these are made for really intricate work like wood carving, ceramics, jewelry, that type of stuff. We have this guy here, number 561. This is a drywall cutting bit. It's really handy to be able to use this to cut drywall because you can just put this in and this will actually cut sideways instead of just this way. So this kind of drills sideways, which is nice if you need to cut a hole in drywall for a light fixture or an outlet or anything like that. So very handy little tip. So a lot of these pieces that we've looked at have the shank as a permanent part of the bit. It is not separated. And the reason you do that is because these tips generally don't wear out as often, so it's not a big deal to have to replace the whole thing. But there are some accessories, like this polishing bit, that will wear out and you want to replace it. And it's a lot easier to just replace those than the entire piece. So these come with a mandrel. And a mandrel is basically a shank that you can add and remove pieces to the end of. This is number 401. This is a screw mandrel, and it is good for the polishing wheel because you can just put this right in there and screw it in. And now you're right there, easy, ready to go, and you can do your polishing. By the way, it comes with some polishing compound too that you can use to get your polishing on. So this is really great because you can buy a bunch of these wheels and you can see it actually comes with several, and you just use this same mandrel here every time. If you needed to switch to this one, it's nice and easy and much more affordable than replacing the whole thing. Here's another mandrel. This is the small screw mandrel number 402. And this one, instead of having that screw tip on the end, has this tiny little screw in here. So you unscrew that little screw, and then you can put things like these cutting discs on there. So these are these very fragile, thin cutting wheels that you can use to cut sideways, and they have that tiny hole in there. So you undo that little screw, put this on there, and put the screw back in through the end, and then you have your whole cutting wheel there put together. I can actually use this thing here on the end of my wrench to unscrew that. I'm not going to do it now, you understand, but you can unscrew that, put this on, and then you have your little piece. So I've got all these great little cutting wheels and this small screw mandrel number 402. If these little cutting wheels aren't good enough for you and you need one of these more powerful ones, such as this metal cutting one, or there are different ones that you can get. You can see the middle of this is not just a tiny hole, because this is a tougher thing. So you need a different mandrel for this. And this, which comes in the kit, is the Easy Lock 402. So this one is really cool because all you do is slide this down to expose that end, and then this will go on. Slide that down, feed this through the hole, turn it, and then let go below. And now I have just locked that in. It's spring loaded, it locks it in, and now I have a super secure hold on that. See how this is turned 90 degrees from how it was before? So to release that, you just pull that back down. Look, when I pull it, see how that pops up there? So I'll pull it down, turn this 90 degrees, and pop it right back out. So again, you just need one of these, and you could use multiple different cutting wheels that all have this sort of bat wing shape on there, and they fit right here in this Easy Lock mandrel number 402. All right, there's another bit in here. Very similar to that last one. This is the Easy Drum mandrel number 407, and this one lets you put all of these little sanding wheels on here. So very similar the way the pressure works on there, and you can pop these on and off and do lots of sanding. And again, it's much more affordable to replace a lot of these than the entire piece. So it's really great that you can take these pieces and put them onto this main mandrel, as many of these as you need. Saves you a little money when you need to replace things. All right, so that is everything here in our box. And I'm going to go now to some of the other things that came with the kit. So this kit comes with all sorts of extra little pieces, and we're going to go through each one of these because they each have a really cool function that they do. Okay, this right here is a cutting guide that helps you keep things nice and straight. So to attach this, the first thing you need to do is loosen your lock nut. So we take that off. Let's go ahead and put this drywall bit in there just so we have something in there. All right, and then we take this and we slide it right over and screw it down into where that lock nose was. So don't lose this. This is great. So now we have this on here screwed in, and now we have a cutting guide. So if this is my wall, I can now go into the wall and I can slide this up and down, and this right here will keep this flat on the surface, and you don't risk going like this or cutting crooked. You can keep it nice and straight as you cut. Isn't that a really handy little tool? It also has this gauge here on the side. You can loosen this, and look, you can check how deep you're going to measure, and you can set this to exactly where you want for controlled depth cutting. Look, now I'm only cutting this little tiny bit, but if I move it down here, I can cut further. So if you're trying to engrave or cut down into something, it's a really great little extra feature. And then again, to take this off, you just unscrew it and it comes right off. Now, very similar to that, we have this one. This is the sanding grinding guide, and it goes on very similarly to the other one. You just put it here and screw it into those threads that are right on the end. Now, this is not the best bit for this example, but it's in there, so we're going to be okay. So what this lets you do when you're sanding, you see this 45-degree angle here. If you're on the surface, you can keep it and make sure you have the exact angle that you need. It also has this nut here so that you can check your depth, and you can adjust that as needed. Isn't that so handy? So these are just really great ways to get you some nice, consistent, and even and straight cuts. We just unscrew that to take that right off of there. Remember, that's all you do when you're ready to go back to normal operation. All right, now we're going to try this one out. This is the Detailer's Grip Model A577. This was a surprise to me coming in this kit, and it is my new favorite thing in this entire kit. So let me show you how that works. Once again, we're going to loosen our nose cap here. Get this off. Now this slides right over like this. And you can kind of position wherever you want. And then we're not going to put this one back on because it doesn't quite fit, but it comes with this different one, slightly different. We're going to put this in and screw that on. Now, what this gives us is a nice, comfortable grip. Remember, I told you before, holding it like this, your hand might get tired. You can now hold it like this. It is much easier to hold like this. It sort of feels like a spray can sprayer type thing. You can adjust it as you need, and you have such a nice grip here for doing all of your sanding. If you need a two-hand grip, if you're doing something really rough, that works also. But yeah, I love this. It's so great for the really fine-tuned stuff. And of course, to undo this, we take this nut off, pop this off, and put our original nose cap right back on. That is so easy. Now this accessory that comes in the kit, this is kind of an unusual one. It might be hard to figure out, but this is actually a circle cutter and straight edge cutter. So let's walk through this. The first thing we need to do is undo this nut right here and flip this around. It's like this to protect you, but we're going to flip it around this way so that the point is down and put this back in. Now we need to attach this end to our rotary tool. So similar to before, we're going to take that nose cap off. We're going to put this, again, there's going to be a bit down in there. We're going to put this down in and screw it in. Now what we have is our tool locked in at a 90-degree angle to this, and we have this pivot point here, which is adjustable because you can move it back and forth like this. So what you do when you figure out how big you want your circle to be, you can do centimeters here on the side or inches here, and you adjust this to the size of the diameter of the circle that you want. Then say this was the surface I was cutting, I would drill a hole here for the center of my circle, drill a hole here for the pilot hole for where I'm going to start cutting my circle. I would put this down into the center hole, hold it, turn it on, and then you can turn like this and you can cut your circle. So let's do it up like this way. So if this is in the circle, and I would cut like this, and as you spin around, going around like this, you're going to cut your perfect circle. And it's all because of this nice pivot point and this locked in 90-degree angle. Now, just like all of our other attachments, there is a depth gauge here, so you can loosen this. There it is, and there is my depth for how far I want that to go. You can adjust it to where you want. And of course, your bit is coming out the bottom here, so that can check. So sometimes you might want to cut through and make an actual whole circle. Sometimes you might just want to make a groove, and that's where that depth adjustment comes in for you. Now, this can do more than just cut circles. It can actually help you with straight lines. And to do that, we're going to change this right here. We're going to take this little pivot point out because you don't need a pivot point on a straight line. You need this gauge. So we're going to put this in here like this and lock it in again with this same little nut. Say this is your table that you're working on. You can put this right up against the table and you can go back and forth like this, and this will keep your edge nice and straight. Let's use the box here for our example. Let's say that we wanted to cut some, a groove or a line a couple inches in from this. We could line this up here on the edge of the box and do our cut, and that would keep us with a nice straight line. Let me tilt it so you can see. See that? And that would help you go with a nice straight line. Isn't that amazing? Such a handy little tool. And of course, it comes right off when we're ready to unscrew it. Comes right off of there, and we put our nose cap back on. Do not lose this nose cap because it's amazing. Now, because this comes in this really nice carrying case, of course, everything fits back down in here. And there's actually even little guides on here that show you exactly what goes in each spot. Put this here. I'll just put all of these pieces back in here. And this fits right in here. There's even a spot for the manual to go right here so that it stays nice and clean and protected. And it all closes up and you're ready to go. So one more reminder here, we've looked at everything here on the set. In the kit, we've got the case, we've got that detailer's grip that I told you about. That's my favorite thing. This circle cutter straight edge guide, which is awesome. Of course, the accessory case, which comes with all of these amazing bits and bobs and things that can go on there. Here's some examples of what you can do with it. You can do some carving and engraving, you can cut, you can grind and sharpen, you can clean and polish, you can sand, and there's a thing here telling you that it's got collets, mandrels, and all of these great little things inside. So that is it, the Dremel 4000. Isn't that amazing? This is such a handy little tool and it has so many uses. It's so versatile. Thanks for watching today as I shared this with you all. And I hope that I've helped you make a decision on what rotary tool is best for you. Really like this one. And make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss anything else that we've got coming. Thanks again for watching. See ya!